Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Classes of Mail. My name is Alan Gigax, and boy, do we have a treat for you today. Things are going to get wild because Michael is here with me.
Hi, everyone.
And Michael said, I want to do an episode where I can just rant. Because you may notice this dynamic between Michael and me where Michael will start to get heated up and then I'll kind of like try to tone it down and rein him in a little bit and be like, Michael, we're not really sure about that. I don't know if you want to say that.
Yeah. He's calmed me down a lot.
Yeah.
It filtered me from saying a lot of stuff.
Right. I was talking to a coworker today about this episode is coming where I'm just going to let Michael go. And he goes, after you record it, like wait a day, let Michael hear it and see if he wants to actually release it.
Well, as long as you do make sure that I don't mention any names, I think it'll be okay.
Yeah. I don't know what you're going to say. Right. I've certainly been on the phone with you enough while you're ranting to have some sense, but it's going to be interesting. And so we don't normally disclaim what's coming up, except that it's already in the podcast description.
I'm going to say, this is strictly my opinion.
Yeah.
Don't take anything
You're speaking
from it.
for yourself.
I am just speaking for myself.
Yep.
And
as a crazy person.
and it's not nothing towards the post office or the NALC or anybody else. This is strictly my opinion.
Okay. Well, dude, with that out of the way, go for it.
Okay. Well, so I
make sure you stay on the mic.
Yeah, I made a list, and I don't know. I may veer off and go to different ones, but anyway, I wanted to start with the sick calls. Okay, so there's a problem with the sick calls. Okay, because it's
problem with people calling in sick.
No, not because it's calling in sick.
Okay,
it has to do with the attendance.
Okay, attendance policy.
Okay, and I am so sick of our union failing to protect our letter carriers on attendance. Okay, it strictly says that in the employee labor manual, the management has to follow these rules before they issue any type of discipline. That is going into restricted sick leave and so and so and so. Management is violating that rule and not following any of these procedures, including trying to correct the behavior at any time. They're just going straight to punishment. And our union ain't doing crap about it. Okay, so this is my opinion. That could be other branches that might be doing it. But I know for a fact, I've talked to a bunch of other cities, that they are not doing crap about it. Okay?
Yeah, the problem is, like, even if the discipline maybe gets reduced, you're still endorsing management's discipline.
Right, because you're saying that the carrier that did something wrong by calling in sick. That's not true. Okay? Remember, management has to prove on discipline that the carrier did something wrong. Calling in sick is not something wrong, because in the employee labor manual says that if you feel incapacitated to go to work, what is the...
I'm looking it up. You keep ranting. I'm looking it up.
Because it actually says the...
here it is right here. It's right at the beginning of sick leave. 513.11, sick leave. Sick leave insures employees against loss of pay if they are incapacitated or cannot perform their duties because of illness, injury, pregnancy, and confinement, or medical examination or treatment.
So illness could be anything, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Illness could be, you could have had a flu, you could be had this, or any doc treatment, a lot of pain, whatever it is. Okay. And so for management to issue discipline, they have to prove that we're abusing it. Okay. And I hate the when our union, I don't care if it's a business agent's office, I don't care if all that stuff, they say, well, they should be coming to work. That is what management says, not what the union should be saying. Okay.
Exactly.
And then secondly, sorry, I'm about to really go off. Okay. Our union, with the 40,000 grievances that's at the arbitration.
Oh, yeah.
Who gives a fuck? Okay? Because the way I look at it is that if management wants to send it up, that's called uneducated discipline, right?
Unadjudicated discipline.
If management wants to send grievances up, especially on attendance, they should not be sending in more attendance discipline after that until that is done. Okay? But then... management can do whatever they want. They can keep issuing discipline. And we keep allowing management to issue more discipline and hurt the carriers because we don't know how to fight this. It seems like our whole national don't know how to fight this. Okay? It is all very simple enough because if management is not following these rules, fucking file more grievances that they're not following the rules.
Yeah. Every
Okay?
time they don't cooperate, there should be more grievances.
And because of not following handbooks and manuals, put on the remedy that they need to read the whole employee labor manual before they start working on it. Proof that they actually read it from page 1 to the end. 800 pages, okay? Make it punishable on something.
I would add a caveat that if
Okay.
they want to listen to those episodes of Classes of Mail, that would be sufficient. Where I read it for them.
But here's the thing. They need to read these things because they're not following any of the rules. Okay. I even got a manager at my station that says following the rules is optional for management. Okay. Said it right in front of a steward, and the steward will not file that grievance. Okay.
That's wild.
This is getting so stupid. Okay. And I even tell the steward, file that grievance. Oh, I don't remember him saying that. All inconveniently, I don't remember. Okay.
Right.
So I'm getting really annoyed because our branch is agreeing to this. And they're agreeing to 3 months to 6 months with no proof of
Abuse. Abuse of sick
zero
leave, right.
abuse. Okay.
Right. And what did they tell you about putting incapacitated on your...
You should not be putting that on your 3971.
That's not a valid reason to use sick leave, right?
Yeah.
Dude.
It has gone completely nuts.
Yeah. It's here in the ELM.
Okay. I have never had more of when you're talking to a union officer and they're doing the grievances and they are arguing with you like they're the manager.
Right. Right. They're not looking for ways that you can win the grievance. They're looking for reasons for you not to file a grievance. Right.
And they're looking to how to fight with you. And they'll do everything in their part to fight with you and make all these arguments with you, but they won't do that against the manager. But they'll do it to you. Okay? It's gone completely insane. Our union has gone completely weak. Okay? And that's where I've got to come along, how our union sucks right now. Okay?
Hey, listener, how's it going so far?
Okay.
Dude, Michael, you're firing, man. This is all right. So far, so good. Keep it up.
Because as you guys know, our NALC with Brian Renfro and them, but I'm not going to just blame it on just Brian Renfro. Okay? I'm going to blame it on Frederick Rolando. I'm going to bring it on, I don't know, well, who was in before that? Okay? All I know is
Young, maybe?
ever since Vincent Sombrano was gone, they have been fucking us over. Okay? Let me tell you why. Okay? Because we should have a solidarity, right?
Of course.
They created TEs, casuals, CCAs.
All these second class
members, union members that are doing all the same job as everybody else and getting paid less, but getting no union support. Hell,
Right.
TEs had no union representation.
Right.
Casuals had no union representation. Okay? And now CCAs don't have union representation until they're out of
The probation.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay? This is such bullshit. And CCAs, when they're the first probational period, most of them are still paying the union dues.
Yeah.
If they're paying the union dues, they should be supported.
I think, a listener, correct me if I'm wrong on this. I believe that brand new CCAs have access to the grievance process, just not for termination.
Okay. No, the wording is that they are not allowed to file grievances. Okay. But that doesn't stop from stewards to file grievances.
Right. But the only thing you can't grieve for them is if they get fired.
Yeah.
But you can grieve other stuff.
So the steward, if they want to file a grievance for that CCA, even though they're under probation, they can.
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. They can do it on their own. But the CCA cannot tell the stewards, hey, this is happening. I need you to file that grievance. They cannot do.
I don't know. All right. Well, it's kind of besides the point because
But
if you can't get protected from being fired, that's the kind of the biggest one.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know how many CCAs have been fired in the meantime, before the probational period is over, and afterwards because they're being harassed so much.
Yeah.
And they end up quitting. Okay.
Right.
We've talked about this so many times how that's going to happen. Okay. This is the national thing that I'm complaining about. Not only are they not paying us well enough, because remember back in 2013 when they changed the contract to have CCAs, you went from TEs getting paid at $22 an hour, PTF's getting paid $22 an hour down to $15 an hour.
Right.
Okay. Now, here's what I know, because I used to be a PSE. Okay. PSEs were getting paid $15 an hour
Explain
before
what
the
that is for the
CCA.
listeners.
PSE is a piece of shit employee. Sorry.
I've never heard that before.
Okay. Postal support employee. It's like CCAs for clerks.
Okay.
Okay. I got started as doing that, and they were getting paid $15 an hour. And this is the clerk's position.
Right.
Okay. So our contract hasn't come out for the NALC yet. So clerks already agreed to $15 an hour. We didn't have to do that either as a carriers. Okay. If the APW agreed to that, that's on their business. Why do we want to go and agree with the same thing? Okay. That doesn't make any sense either. Okay. But either way, we started at $15 an hour. We lost that from $22 an hour. And currently, still now, we don't get paid $20 an hour to start.
Right. It's ground that we never made up. Mm-hmm. You know, the idea with when the auto workers, you know, took their big hit on their contract, it was because like, oh, GM's in trouble. We need to recover, and then we'll get you back.
Right.
And they got him back.
Right.
Right. They had a great contract that made up for that. That never happened at the post office.
Right.
And all this goodwill that we were supposedly building during COVID, obviously that never paid off either.
And this whole time, our national president or our officers at that time, they always said, we need to save the post office. But it had nothing to do with the saving the carriers. Okay? We're getting sick of it in the fact that the management have been spending their money on a bunch of stupid shit. Okay? Then let me tell you where that stupid shit is coming from. Okay? Not only are they spending it on scanners that track carriers, not only are they spending all these money on telematics, okay, they're spending all this money on all this other crap to track carriers and how do we do our job. And then they're hiring so many managers to the point where now we have one manager for every 7 employees. I mean, they're keep getting more managers and more things to track carriers, spending millions and millions of dollars, yet we're still broke.
Dude, I had a guy in my station the other day. I'm sure you've seen these people where they put a laptop like on a U-cart and it has a little scale attached to it. And they're like physically measuring pieces of mail. What the fuck is that? How does that translate to getting the mail out the door?
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. There's so many jobs that I see that the management is doing is worthless. Okay. Yeah. Right now we have a supervisor. All they're doing is 1838C and 3999s during the middle of Christmas.
What a phenomenal waste.
That's all she does.
Right. Right. Follow people during Christmas.
Okay. Yeah.
And dude, do you want to talk about that? Because
of course I want to talk about that.
Okay,
go
for it.
I'm
That's the next topic.
Okay.
So earlier today, I had a phone call with a listener who was arguing about 3999s need notice, and he took a different strategy. It related to what Michael says about 3999s, that a 3999 is an inspection, and you know it's an inspection because it says it right on the form.
Yes,
and so it should be treated as such. And go ahead, Michael.
Yeah. Or management can also do that when they feel that there's a need for a minor adjustment.
There you go.
Okay. Has any manager done minor adjustment when they done an 1838C or the 3999? Has anybody have seen this throughout the nation? Anybody who's hearing this? Okay,
there have to,
because I know that nobody has got it done.
There have to be minor adjustments somewhere at some point, but that ain't what these 3999s are being used for.
That's 0.00001%.
Exactly.
Okay, because they're using it to harass carriers and watch carriers, right? Okay, so. Here's another thing that I was brought up to Alan before. Management is not allowed to, per M39, to use any covert techniques to watch carriers, right? Okay? So misusing the forms and misusing the rules by the Postal Service to watch carriers, that sounds like more covert observation. Okay? So they're using that to harass carriers. Not only that, mutual respect. Okay? I mean, here's the thing. You know, we're in the middle of Christmas time. We get so many packages to watch, but they're going to watch carriers, okay? They have the time to watch carriers because you know when they watch carriers slow down, right? Okay? Usually that's what happens because we're counting the mail, right? We're supposed to count the mail. We're supposed to count the DPS. We're supposed to count the spurs. We're supposed to count the parcels. We're supposed to count the time because the 3999 is counting time, how long it takes for you to deliver, right? Okay?
Yeah.
In the middle of Christmas. Because in the M39 says we're not supposed to count June, July, August, and December. Okay. So what is the purpose when they do this in the middle of December? Nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. They're using it to harass carriers. Okay. They're there to stand there to watch that carrier plus all the other carriers. Okay. This is a form of harassment. And here's the stupid part. This is not where I'm coming about the branch being stupid. Okay. Oh, they have the right to observe carriers. Okay.
That's not what a $39.99 is.
Right.
There are forms for observing carriers.
Did you know that there's a form for everything that management does?
Yeah.
Yeah. You got the 4584, the observation 4589. There's forms for everything that management does. Okay. There's forms for everything the carrier does. Why is that, Alan?
Because we have these standardized procedures and
because so many people used it, abused it.
Right.
Like management especially. So these forms are all created back in the day by somebody that was smart enough to create all these forms because we have to track what management is doing. Because when you got all these harassing things, information, I don't know what that management was doing. I don't know. The forms have to keep track of what they're doing. And when they don't use any of these forms or doing it the wrong way, well, who's the job is to make sure they do everything correctly?
It's the supervisor's job.
Okay, it is. Well, when they're not doing it correctly, both supervisor or any manager.
You have to forgive me, Michael, because I'm trying to look up verification of something that you said to add to it, and I haven't been listening as closely as I should.
It is the steward's jobs to make sure that they follow all handbooks and manuals per Article 19.
I agree with that.
Okay, so I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Just the misdoings going on in this whole our union out at the post office, and I get irate when that happens because this is coming after all carriers and not just me. Okay, and I know my carriers at my station when they see me, I get irate, and it's not because management is attacking me; they're attacking another carrier, and I get irate.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and
because you know enough now to protect yourself. It's the new people, the people who don't know.
Why do I
get
get angry when that happens? Because that could happen to me too.
Yeah.
Okay, that could happen to another carrier. What if it goes to another carrier that's a lot weaker than I am?
Right, they're going to get taken advantage of. Yeah. Oh, or worse, or they'll quit, or they have this emotional distress. Yeah, it's a mess.
So when they attack a carrier, just like Corey Walton says, they're attacking all of us.
Right.
That's how I look at it. Okay.
Okay, I found the part about minor adjustments with the $39.99. It is in 141.19, and you determine street time using a PS form $39.99. That's what it says. Section B.
Yeah. I filed these grievances many times, so
yeah, there you go.
I kind of know generally what they all mean for.
It's an important note to add that these grievances that Michael brings to the attention of the hall, and they're like, oh, it's not a grievance.
I've won those grievances before.
Exactly. Yeah, you have like step B settlements that say, yes, Michael is right. Here's the remedy. Yeah.
I'm not just blowing smoke up their ass, you know? I know I won these grievances. Okay. Talk of which, okay. I have a station calls me up, says, hey man, my managers are doing deemed desirable. My steward ain't doing shit. Okay. So what do? I give them a copy of the arbitration settlements on the deemed desirable that I filed and I won, including some others. And I send that copy to the carrier and say, hey, man, don't mention my name because if you do, they won't listen. Because the hall will tell them to not listen to anything I say.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So they used that grievance that I gave to the carrier, and the carrier gave it to the steward for them to file. And of course, they won because my stuff that I gave to them was really good. And then, of course, the hall praises the steward, how great job that the steward did, which I'm glad because they're really actually praising me.
Right.
They just don't know that. Okay. Right. So this is the frustration. I'm doing what I can to help behind people's back kind of thing. But it is frustrating in the fact that our own branch, they're so biased because I ran for president and you got Alan who ran for vice president, that they're doing everything in their power to make sure that to go against us, no matter if it hurts the carriers or not. Okay?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the will of the carriers at East Las Vegas has been made abundantly clear. They want me to be their steward.
Yes.
And the president just will not have it. And in a conversation that we had the other day, there will be an episode on this conversation eventually. he specifically told me, "Oh, you're not blackballed," but yeah, obviously the evidence indicates otherwise. That's very easy to say, but when you do the things that are like the definition of blackballing, and that's exactly what's happening to you too, because you asked to be appointed as an alternate steward.
Also, yes, and that's also said no.
Yeah, not only did they say no, but when you asked why, what was the response?
Oh, you need to come to my face and talk to me about it.
Right.
But I got to drive 30 miles to talk to you about it for you to say no?
Right, exactly. Yeah, just tell me.
Yeah, just tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's for the show.
It is.
Yeah.
That is because they're so biased because we read that they don't, hey, let's take 10 years of my experience of being a steward. Let's not use that.
Right.
Let's use the stewards that we got at my station. That's had one person only has like a year worth of steward, which year worth maybe at total because it quit and started and quit. I don't know how long they've done. Another one was about 2 years. Another one was never. And those are the experienced stewards we got. But let's not use the guy who has 10 years. And I wanted to work for free as an alternate steward.
Right.
That's not good
Yeah,
enough.
even for free. Right.
Okay. So anyway, out of all this, back to our union.
Uh-huh.
Okay. On their failures. Okay. The more failures is this. Okay. How many times has management harassed so many carriers and they got in trouble?
Management gets in trouble.
Management gets in trouble for so many things where management violated this, and we win 99% of the time, right?
Okay.
That's what Corey Wald says. We win 99% of the grievances that's sent up.
Right. Yeah.
Okay?
I know it was in the 90s somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
Right. We file grievances.
But
because
are they actually wins?
Well, this is something like that C. Moline talked about the other day.
Okay.
Is when you win, all you're really winning are the rights you already had. Mm-hmm. And management in the interim gets to violate those rights for free.
Yeah. And it's all slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we interviewed that guy, Adam, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
table two
ticket.
Yeah.
Okay. And we talked about how these management settlements have all been basically slap on the wrist.
Adam Crosby. Yeah.
Yep. And I'm so sick of that too. Okay.
Right.
Because over and over they keep violating the same thing, and you file grievances as even me as a steward when I did it, and management got to a point where they don't want to settle anything with me.
Right.
Okay. Because they
You
get
drive
better
too hard about-
settlement.
Yes. That's it.
They get a better settlement at the hall. So they're
Right.
like, oh, I'm just set it up because I'll get better settlement from the hall.
Right.
That was their answer.
Yeah.
Okay. They'd rather not settle at the lowest level because they want to settle at the Formula A level because the branch agrees with them more than I do. Okay. Because Michael is just too argumentative and he just wants to fight to fight. No, I'm not that arguing. I'm arguing that you guys are not following the damn rules.
That sounds like the Michael I know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Because I
obviously-
don't bend when they don't follow the rules.
Yeah, you're making your case. You know, you're making valid arguments, and this is and this is why it really requires top-down change. Because at every level, you need to know that the person standing behind you has your back,
Right.
And that has to go all the way up to the national president.
And that's not what we're getting.
That's exactly right.
Okay. And this is why Corey Wall talks about how we're not getting it from Brian Renfro and Paul Barner and so forth. And it's true. It's from top down.
Right.
Okay. And so now I'm going to get to a point where I may piss even more people off.
Well, I hear about this from like the other podcasters I talk to, the other stewards, where they say that we're getting these weak settlements because the backlog is so big and they're just trying to clear them out.
Right.
Yeah, and we get these sorry ass settlements.
Yeah. And so that's why the Corey Wall talked about that 41,000 grievances
when you have
is
that
hurting
many,
the carriers. Yes.
You can't fight all the way on all 41,000 of them.
But here's the thing. Even when, let's say even there was 10 grievances up there and the word settlement is, don't do that again.
Right.
You violated rules, pay $50 and don't do it again.
Right.
That manager harassed that carrier And so imagine violent adjustment and violence and behavior.
Right.
And let's then remove that supervisor from that station, and that's it. And,
Right.
and the
Just
manager will
send
send
them
them
to
to
another
another
station.
station.
Right.
Okay. Nothing happens to these managers when they because here's the thing.
Yeah.
I used to be a manager at away from the post office. Okay.
Oh.
And if I ever got in trouble on harassment, I was guilty until proven innocent. Okay. And I was suspended until I was proven innocent. Okay. And that's how it was worked at most of the corporate companies. Okay. Post office is completely different, backwards. We don't fire a single manager for violating some laws.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a thing from the top to the bottom. On the craft and management side, it's almost impossible to get fired.
Right.
Yeah.
The only time they ever get fired is when they're stealing from the post office, when they get when they
Violence.
use violence.
You know.
Hell,
Yeah.
we had a manager who was stealing pills or whatever. They still got their job back. So
Yeah.
or when they're violating it by harassing carriers like crazy and trying to fire as many as they can. Oh, they got the violation of enjoyment of violence and behavior, but they got their job back. Oh, you know what their job was? Sitting at a desk, absolutely doing nothing.
Right. Yeah, you wind up getting moved down to the plant, and or you become the guy who rolls the computer in on the U-cart with the little scale on it.
Or whatever it is, they don't do
Right.
shit.
Right.
Okay? Because they still got a job. Okay? That's where post office is losing money. Is that you have these managers who don't do it because why does the post office want to keep them?
Yeah.
They like abusive supervisors because they
certainly
want to
seems
keep
so.
those kind of people. Okay?
Yeah.
And because our union won't keep track of these managers where they're going.
You know, it's a crazy thing that this national database on supervisors doesn't exist. I mean, the NALC obviously has the resources to make it happen. It's something that people have asked for. And how does this not exist? It's just a fucking database. It's not that hard. I mean, I couldn't do it, but no fuck, I could do it. I could do it on Google Sheets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the slap on the wrist on these managers has gotten to a point where it is very straight. This is why when we're talking to Adam Crosby,
Yeah.
I said that maybe we should use the lawyers, okay? And the reason for it is, what's the lawyers for that we use at National? I know it's for contracts and so
Yeah.
forth, okay?
Getting
Or-
Renfro out of
or
articles
getting-
and charges.
Right, getting Renfro out of those charges, okay?
Yeah.
But in reality, how about you use this for, imagine breaking the collective bargaining, breaking the rules, and then charge the post office, keep on breaking the same shit over and over and over.
Right.
Now you can use the lawyer to file that, saying that, hey, they're not following these rules.
Right,
so
actually-
therefore go after them
Actually,
some way.
bringing labor charges against them and
Yeah.
filing charges in court and shit like that. Yeah.
When we bring charges to like National Labor Relations Board,
Right.
we bring any of these things against the post office, use the lawyers, because it actually says you can use lawyers. Okay, so why doesn't our union use it against post office when they violate the rules over and over? And to me, they sure have proof, right? Proof,
Yeah, of course.
Especially with the arbitration settlement says that they did it again, and it did again.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
we have proof they keep violating it. Go after management who keeps violating it over and over and over. Okay, and this is another thing we talked about Doug Tolino.
Okay.
He agrees to a lot of these arbitration settlements, say, "Oh, you're right, we did something wrong," and they say, "We won't do that again. We won't do that again." Yet he goes and tells all the managers go and violate it anyway. I know he doesn't purposely tell them, but you go by the behavior of all these managers.
You can see the end result. It continues.
Because if he wants to follow it, he would allow these managers to keep on going over and over and over.
Right.
Okay, so it goes from top down. The manager is doing what they're doing because he's coming from the top.
Yeah, of course. Of course. At my own station, like when we were getting mandated all the time, and management was just blatantly violating the contract, and I would tell management, hey, you're not supposed to do it this way. Hold on. Yeah. And they didn't care. And when I brought it to the station manager, she's like, well, look, my boss is telling me, I don't care about the contract. You're just going to do this. It's not me. It's coming from my boss, and I have to do what he says. Well, then that boss came into the station, the MPU, and I'm like, hey, man, this is what's going on. And you're a dick, for doing this. And he's like, well, it's not me. I would never tell him to do that, which of course is a fucking lie.
Right.
But once he was confronted
By the
about
way,
it,
somebody's lying.
yes, somebody's lying. And once he was confronted, he's like, well, I'm going to have to talk to the station manager about this. And dude, it stopped. And, like the stuff that Simo Lee was talking about on that episode, just putting that emotional pressure on somebody and like calling them out, it does work. It won't always work, but it's another tool.
Well, it's because they don't want to get blamed.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Okay.
Yeah, and they try to keep that stuff at arm's length. That I'm not going to tell you to violate 8.5.g, but you better make sure that everybody get, shit like that.
Yeah, because if they get blamed, they might not get promoted.
Right. Heaven forbid they're held accountable for something.
Exactly. Okay. So, I'm only
Well, we're at 30 minutes. Do you want to call it here? Maybe do another episode?
Yeah, because I still got like 5 more to go.
I'm not surprised. All right. Well, we'll hold on to those. This came out not too bad. I think we can actually release this episode.
Okay.
All right. So can you get the music ready? All right. So that was a hell of a thing. That was a good job, Michael. That was quite an episode. And now we got to record another one. So guys, thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will catch you all next time.